going to call the meeting to order, the 7 o'clock Monday, June 23rd edition of the Hermiston City Council and Hermiston Urban Renewal Agency to order with a declaration of a quorum. It appears that Councilor Kelso is excused, and we are also missing Councilor Linton. At this time, could you please join me with flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, just as a reminder, anybody having their cell phones, make sure they're set to silent, please. Mr. Smith, do we have any changes to the agenda?
No changes.
No changes. All right. So at this time is for our first opportunity for citizen input. Anybody wishing to bring anything before the council that's not on the agenda is asked to do the following. Please limit your comments to not more than 5 minutes. State your name and place of residence and direct your comments to me. Either of you two got anything to say? Okay. All right, seeing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Consent agenda is 2 items, the committee vacancy announcements A and B, and minutes. Are there any council questions regarding that? Seeing none. Any public comment? Seeing none. Council comments? Seeing none. Any items that need to be removed from the consent agenda? Seeing none. Can I get a motion to approve consent agenda items A and B?
So moved.
Second.
And moved by Councilor Duran, seconded by Councilor Hayward. Roll call.
Yes.
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 I felt like you waited your.
Yeah, I think you definitely,
You were waiting for.
you definitely paused on that one. All right. All right, motion passes unanimously, 6-0. No items removed from the consent agenda. Moving on to public hearings. Zoning map amendment 4N2811 AD, tax lot 100, The Hub, Hermiston, LLC, 963 East Diagonal Boulevard has been rescheduled to July 24th or July 14th meeting. So that one's out. Supplemental budget. Number 2 for the city of Hermiston, fiscal year July 1, 2024 to July 30, 2025. Are there any declarations of a conflict of interest from the council? Seeing none. Hearing guidelines will now be presented by City Manager Smith.
The City Council is holding a public hearing for the supplemental budget number 2 of the City of Hermiston for the fiscal year July 1, 2024 to June 30, 2025. The City Council will take public testimony on this issue and make a decision at this meeting. The hearing process will begin with a staff report followed by public testimony. The Council requests that all people wishing to testify give their name and place of residence before testifying. People wishing to testify should limit testimony to not more than 5 minutes unless a longer period is provided by the City Council. Written testimony will also be accepted. After everyone wishing to testify has had an opportunity to speak, the City Council will close the public hearing and enter deliberations. Once the public hearing is closed, no further public testimony will be received. Mr. Mayor.
All right, this hearing is now open. City staff will present its report.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, this supplemental budget is to really just clarify a couple of items that would be slightly out of, sorry, I'm pulling up slightly out of budget on a couple of issues. First, the regional water system. We are requesting an increase of about a little over 100,000 to that budget that will come out of the contingency fund, and there was just some activities in there we did not anticipate all the way costing as much as they did, particularly on some engineering efforts. And then the other change is in the EOTech fund. We kind of talked about it through the next year's budget process, but with the barn project and some unanticipated costs for a water main break, we had some a little bit over expenses in our materials and services area there. We would be bringing money from the enterprise zone fund to bring that budget into balance. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Any staff questions on that? Okay.
Staff or council?
Yeah, I was gonna ask
Council.
that. The regional water system fund, is that the project that is in conjunction or in partnership with AWS?
That's correct.
So these funds would be reimbursed when the project's complete still?
Yeah, any of the costs related to those projects would be reimbursed by Amazon.
Right, thank you.
Any other questions in regards to those items? Okay, public testimony. People wishing to speak are asked to state their name, place of residence, and limit testimony to 5 minutes. Are there any people wishing to speak? Seeing none. Hearing is now closed. Further council discussion? Seeing none. Okay. Ordinances and resolutions. Renewal of the IGA for IT services for the cities of Echo, Stanfield, and Umatilla, Morrow County, and Umatilla County Fire District Number 1. City Manager Smith.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, so we've finished 3 years of services for these entities, and that's what our original agreement was. And so these are renewals. A couple of them have amendments for additional hours, and all of them include a inflationary rate each year, which we didn't put in the original agreements. And the one other difference between all of them are looking for a 3-year term, except for Morrow County. They're renewing for 1 year. Their finance director wanted to make some more additional changes to the agreement, but didn't have time to kind of propose them to us, so asked for a 1-year extension, and then we would go back and look at what other changes they wanted to propose. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from council? Seeing none. Public comment? No? Okay. Council comments?
We do have enough staff to cover this, right?
Yeah, these are all existing customers
Okay.
at existing levels of service.
Okay,
It's all just
right.
Okay, so any other council comments? Seeing none? Twice. Motion to adopt resolution 2376 and lay upon the record.
So moved? Second.
So, moved by Councilor McCarthy, seconded by Councilor Roberts. Roll call.
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
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 Motion passes unanimously. Resolution 2377, First Amendment for IGA for IT services for High Horizon Project. And just for full disclosure, would like to advise, I am on the board of directors for the Horizon Project, and I have received no pay, no monetary compensation, but I do need to declare that it is a potential conflict of interest. I can still do my my duties as needed, but does need to be declared. Okay. All right. City Manager Smith.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, this agreement has an increase in the number of hours. It's an increase from 12 to 18 per month, and we do have the ability to cover this contract. We've been One of the reasons we're asking to increase it is because we've been giving this level of service over the last year or so. So they saw that we were providing a higher level of service, and they were happy to agree to additional hours. And then again, this includes the annual 3% inflationary increase in their rates. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Councilor McCarthy.
So basically, we've just been going above what is contracted, and now we're just formally making it agreed to do what we've been doing.
That's correct.
Okay.
Any other council questions? Seeing none. Public comment? Seeing none. Council comments? Making eye contact with everyone. Seeing none. Can I get a motion to adopt Resolution 2377 and lay upon the record?
So moved.
Second?
And moved by Councilor Roberts, second by Councilor McCarthy. You guys are going back and forth. Roll call.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Passes unanimously, 6-0. Thank you. All right, Resolution 2378, IGA for IT Services Report of Umatilla.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. So this is the only new customer that we have in front of you tonight. And their agreement is that we only have 2 customers, if you approve this agreement, 2 customers that do strictly hourly and don't have a set number of hours per month or week or whatever increment we set. They just felt they needed IT services, but they felt like they're so small, they really only have like 3 computers in their office, and they just wanted to be able to call and have us respond. And so they agreed. For those customers, we have a higher rate that we charge them, and so they agreed with that higher rate. And so from a staffing standpoint, we feel comfortable that we can handle. We've taken care of we've taken care of just on a kind of a one-time basis some of their initial issues, and we feel like from an ongoing basis we'll be able to handle them under our existing staffing. So I'd be happy to answer any questions.
How many hours per month do they normally
Well, I mean, we don't have a normally with them
with
yet.
them at all?
No,
Okay.
because we did a couple of things because they had some emergency situation that nobody was able to help them with except us. So we did 3 or 4 hours to kind of get some backups set up and some things like that they needed. But we anticipate probably not more than an hour a month
Okay.
going over there. Just they don't have a lot of needs.
Basically, we're just on-call tech support.
Correct.
Okay.
And we do have staff in Umatilla almost every day because they're servicing the city. So we feel like we can easily just stop over when they need it.
Other council questions? Seeing none. Public comment? Seeing none. Council comments? Seeing none. Motion to adopt Resolution 2378 and lay upon the record.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilor Meyer, second by Roberts. Roll call.
Yes.
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 Motion passes unanimously, 6-0. Resolution 2379, supplemental budget number 2, City Manager Smith.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, this is what we talked about in the public hearing. And if there's any further questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Council questions?
No.
Seeing none. Public comment? Seeing none. Council comments? Seeing none. Wow. Breakneck speed here. All right, motion to adopt Resolution 2379, lay upon the record.
So moved.
Second?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Councilor Duran. Second, motion by Councilor Roberts. Second by Councilor Duran. Roll call.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously, 6-0. Resolution 2380, amending the rules and order of procedure for city council. Mr. Smith.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. So one of your goals was to take a review of our different city committees. And we took a couple of council meetings earlier, work sessions this year to review those committees and take a look at what they're working on. And then took a look at the kind of the council only, what I'm calling now subcommittees, and look at what they did. And so what's in front of you tonight are changes that kind of came out of that last discussion. First, it creates a public finance council subcommittee, and then formally creates some subcommittees that we've been have been functioning for a few years: public infrastructure, public safety, community accountability board, public transit, and I renamed this one. I did call it sanitary disposal in this report, but we put solid waste just in, so future, we're not calling out our particular franchisee, which may change in the future. So in the rules, it says solid waste subcommittee. And then also made the change to add the opportunity to include the committee chairs in the vacancy review process if the council so chooses. So that would be an option. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Council questions? Sir Ruff.
I don't have a problem with any of this except for the finance committee.
Mhm.
I don't see the need for that. And what's its purpose? We get a report every month.
Well, I can answer that one.
Okay.
I was the one that asked for that committee. The purpose for the finance committee that I requested it be as part of it is so that it gives the council and the finance department a little bit an opportunity to go take a deeper dive each meeting that they have, so that, like at the moment, my intent is for it to meet quarterly, at the most. But to be able, so that we can get, a little bit deeper into the weeds if necessary, primarily to avoid the thing that happened here a couple years ago. But it also would make it so that there'd be necessary, it could be less provided at, like today, where we have the finance report. There may not be as much that has to be, but at least, the information is being disclosed to members of the council.
Okay, but why would you do that? Take it away from, the council to give it to a committee? No.
It's not taking it away. It's,
But you said it would lessen.
there might not be as much detail during the council session.
Why?
Just felt like it. Yeah, go ahead.
So the impression I got wasn't to lessen what we receive in our monthly meeting. It was to allow an opportunity for more detail, but for those that wish to, at a lesser frequency of meeting time. So those who are interested in having the more details, getting into the weeds, can have that information, but we still have our regular, what we get every month, financial report.
Some of the more, the bigger questions, the stuff that may take longer to explain could be answered in this type of a committee as opposed to during council.
Well, I'm not a fan of micromanagement, but, and I honestly don't see the need for this.
Okay,
Saying,
fair enough. Any other council questions? Okay, public comment?
And it,
Okay.
just on the same subject, we're gonna start, I guess, what are the parameters? Like every committee that's set has a goal and a mission. I guess, do we have that for this committee already? I know we're talking about what it might do, but I guess what the goal that it's gonna set to accomplish and just the frequency. Those are the two questions I guess I have about that.
Again, the goal is the opportunity to ask further questions, to get a closer look at the finances. And it's not about, and in response to your statement, it's not about micromanagement. It's not about making him making our finance director, telling him what to do. It's just, it gives him the opportunity to explain things a little bit more, where it might not be as advantageous to do it during a full council session. But, in regards to the,
Keep sliding.
part of it, the directions and such, we wanted to get it set before, and then as a council, we can decide, how much, all that type of a thing. What we would like to get out of this, and what the members of the committee. At the moment, I only have one person that's requested to be on it. So, and if at some point in time we decide that it's a committee that we don't want to have any further, we can always remove it.
Because that's what I thought we were doing here.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I also want to express just, and we've had conversations about these committees in the past, but again, just also the fine line of the micromanagement. I think it is important to know the finances, and especially in light of our financial situation a couple of years ago. But I also I guess I just really want there to be that very fine line. And so that's why I'm asking this question right now. So.
Yeah, my intent behind it was not to tell our finance department what to do. It's just give them the opportunity to provide, a little bit more explanation, a little bit more, be able to take the time to answer questions that are, that may not be as, like some people, some people understand fine, you are, a financial whiz, I'm sure.
I work on it.
But not everybody is. And so, it may take, having that, the opportunity to be able to explain things a little bit deeper without, taking up the time that we have during this time would be more advantageous. That was my intent for that.
Maybe, yeah.
Councilor Roberts,
And this committee, their meetings would still be open to the public.
absolutely.
Yeah, because that's one of the things that if we're not going to discuss them in open council, still allowing the public to be present and listen to those is also valid. So I just want to make sure that that was put out there, that it will be open to the public.
Yeah, but, because as it sets right now, our budget committee meets basically once or twice a year, once, maybe twice. This gives the opportunity to provide input during that, during other times in the year, maybe, maybe they, as it's being explained, we see something that wasn't seen up to that point. 4 eyes better than 2 sometimes. But that's my explanation for it. And, if it's not something that the council is interested in, this is definitely the time to say so. And I'm not, my world does not revolve around whether this goes through or not. So but, it's, for me, it was, it's just a little bit, it's just a second, a second door. So, yes, sir.
It's kind of like seeing something, say, expensive went up or something that we didn't foresee, to try and get an idea of why did it go up, and kind of in layman's term. So I get where you're coming from.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? Public comment? Oh, okay. Council comments. Councilor Roberts.
I just want to say that as a former citizen member of the Budget Committee, I really craved having more opportunities throughout the year that we didn't have built into the system. And so I appreciate the fact that we're trying something out. If it turns out that it doesn't work the way that we hope, well, we've tried something, but I'm looking forward to seeing how the concept kind of unfolds.
Councilor Hayward.
I mean, I just agree with Josh. I'm looking forward to see how this goes, to see what it does and everything. Just get another eye on finances. If we can save a couple of dollars or something by something that we are not seeing as council, and somebody sees it going on in the world, might be going up, they can say something now. We can prepare for that before it gets too out of suspense.
And I think that that would be where the micromanagement part comes in. Sorry.
Fair enough. Okay. Any other council comments? Seeing none. Motion to adopt Resolution 2380 and lay upon the record.
Motion adopt.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Counselor Hayward, second by Counselor Roberts. Roll call.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Okay. We're at 4-2, but motion carries. Passes with Counselor Meyer and Counselor Barone in dissent. Okay. Financial report. City Manager Smith.
Yes, Mr. Palacios.
Sorry about that. Good evening, Mayor and councilors. This is the monthly financial report for the month ended May 31, 2025. There it goes. So the Hermiston renewal is trending very well this time of the year, so that's good for 11 months out of 12 for the fiscal year. The right-of-way, the North Hermiston renewal area is the only one with activity right now. We're waiting for the appraisals have been completed and with anticipated bidding this fall or winter, which slightly delayed from summer. Hoping for better bids.
They have a switch.
right here.
So as I stated, we're 11 months into the fiscal year, about 92%. Monthly revenues
Hold a minute.
Monthly revenues are over projections by about 1.1 million. When compared to the budget, revenues are meeting expectation at 94.4%. I didn't do that, did I? It's not working. I don't know what I'm doing here. Can you move it forward for me? Yeah, please. Special revenue funds, the observations for this month are, we've included an EOTech fund summary for May 2025, which has been, I think this is the third month we're including that. Again, it's presented compared to projected. Actual revenues ending for May 31 were about 1.3 million or 83% of budget, slightly under expectation. Actual expenditures are about 58,000 over materials and services, primarily due to event and additional event cleaning, janitorial and related utilities, and then the barn project, which we just covered in the supplemental budget. One more, Heather, please. Utility and street funds, utility funds are about 834,000 over projected revenues. This corresponds to what we continue to call one-time septic service and recycled water. That seems to be ongoing, so we'll keep taking that in as it comes in. Recycled water fund, the regional water system fund is about $47,000 over projected expenditures, and that's due to that contracted services, which we just covered in the supplemental budget. And I'll turn it over to Mr. Morgan. I don't think it's.
Yeah, so our Gear and Harper realignment project continues to await some feedback from the railroad, but again, we anticipate getting going on full-blown design here soon. North First sidewalk, completion of that project, again, awaiting some right-of-way acquisition with the railroad. Regional water system, the backup generator project continues into design. Some good news is the lead time on actual acquisition of those generators is down to just under a year. So that's actually down. It was 72 weeks at one point. So that project continues to move along. The well number 6 chlorination structure, just wrapping up final bits of design, just a couple of things, still working with some of the operational folks to get that finally buttoned up before we can put that out to advertisement. The aquifer storage and recovery project, they're depends on how you define, halfway there. They're about 700 feet down with the initial boring. They're going to be reaming that out this week. And then they're going to go down with a slightly smaller casing the remainder of the way. So they're about 700 feet down, going down to about 1,500 feet. So they remain on track. So we hope that that'll be operational here mid to late fall. And then on the well number 4 controls project, again, that contract was awarded quite a while ago. We'll begin some work this month, but really, again, the bulk of that work is going to occur after the peak irrigation season of the summer. And then up at the airport, the hangar replacement project continues to move along. They have poured the foundation, actually, and so we anticipate the delivery of the actual hangar building itself to show up as a kit here in the next few weeks, and then they'll begin erecting that soon after that.
And then the library project, drywall's nearly complete. They've poured so the hole for the stairway is now down to the size it will be for the stairs. The one we saw when we were in there was much larger than it will be long term. And also you can see from the front, they've been installing windows, and the front door pieces will start to go in. So really exciting. Inside, they're kind of finishing up taping and texturing so that they can start painting probably next week. And so it's continuing to move well. The Arc, really everything is kind of on hold until we leave. We're planning to kind of refinish the interior floors as our last piece of improvement there after we move back into the public safety center. Framing's going on, the roof is being installed, and the south parking lot construction is beginning. They delayed that to match better with the school schedule so that we could utilize some of the parking area in the high school parking lot. But with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions. We would be, if there's any.
Council questions? Council Jerome?
Well, more like a comment. Is that appropriate to make a comment?
At comments it is.
Okay. In some of the slides, there was one where it was, I want to say 1.3 million and it said 1,000, and another one where it said $47 instead of 47,000.
So that said K at the end of it. So that's the way we're saying 1,000. So 1,300 K, 13, that's 1.3 million.
Oh,
That's an accountant's shorthand for
okay.
things. So we'll ask him to talk in normal.
Yeah, my fingers were tired from.
Normal people language.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's 1.4 million right there on the screen
Okay.
rather than
Saving ink on zeros.
Right.
There you go.
Exactly. Ink on the screen.
Perfect.
Well, that's he's right.
Sorry about that.
Thank you.
Any other council questions? Seeing none. Public comment? Seeing none. Council comments? Seeing none. Can I get a motion to accept the May 2025 financial report as presented?
Motion is set.
Second.
Been motioned by Counselor Hayward. Seconded by Counselor Meyer. Roll call.
Yes.
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 Motion passes unanimously. Committee reports.
We had our presentation meeting on Wednesday for the TRT Funds Committee. That will come before council adoption, I believe, at the next council meeting. If you would like to say no to a bunch of people asking for money, that's a fun committee to be on. We received, I don't know about record number of requests, but certainly higher than it has been the past handful of years, both in number of requests and in total dollars asked. Almost everybody was a repeat requester was sometimes double or sometimes triple what they went for. So we had a lot of really difficult discussions. But I think all in all, we felt pretty good about that, about the result, and you should have that in the next couple of weeks here.
Excellent. Others? Counselor Meyer?
We had Parks and Rec meeting, and Maria's got the information on the forest management, urban forest management plan. And then I've got some dates and times.
All right, so we met on June 12th. We unfortunately did not have a quorum, so we were just informed of Arbor Pro and what they've been able to, the inventory of our trees. So they were able to see and rate and around the city of Hermiston, the trees that they saw, they inventoried, they determined that 674 trees were in good condition. 325 were in fair condition. So the first rating is the highest rating. The fair condition is still determined like, okay. 34 trees were in poor condition. There were 3 that were determined to be dead trees and 21 stumps. And so the and there is going to be a plan to have like a tree ordinance in place so that city staff will be able to provide like an annual report on the conditions of the tree in the future. And so 500, on this one, I didn't make clear notes, so please help me out on this one, okay? Because I'm afraid I'm gonna butcher it. And I'm looking at, at you, please help me out. So 500 trees will be done in the next 3 years. I don't know what that was about, in the course of the next 3 years.
I think we're looking at planting over 500 trees, but at least 500 in the next 3 years.
In the next 3 years, okay. Yeah, the 3-year cycle.
Oh,
And-
no, that's, that would be the tree maintenance plan of,
Okay,
of pruning and getting those trees up to par.
and they're gonna get a list of the approved trees that, right?
So we'll have a tree palette that we'll be able to have on our website for developers or residents to go on and see what trees are suitable for our environment here within the city and give a palette of what will grow well here and what to avoid.
We saw the software that Arbor Pro is using to inventory the trees, and it was pretty cool to see because you could like select and look at the tree and you could tell where it was at, like the picture of Mackenzie Park or the other places. It was really neat to be able to see if you're interested in looking at that software, because you're kind of giving the look like,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, you're more than welcome to make arrangements to kind of,
So the plan with that, it'll be hosted on our website, and so any resident can come in and look at any tree within in the park system or the public right-of-way system, and see what kind of tree, what shape it's in, picture of it, all that. And so it'll be hosted on our website.
Wow, excellent.
It was really cool.
mhm.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Okay, and then we had the ribbon cutting for the pickleball courts. That was on June 14th. And Cimarron Park is now Sherman Park. It's official. AYSO transition to HYSO will be happening this fall. Okay, projects are the urban forest management plan, which we just went over, Harrison Park, basketball courts, gazebo, and security cameras. Theater Sports Park, the pickleball, which is already in. Harkin Rider Center landscaping, and I don't know when that begins.
We're probably in this next year, be
Okay.
working on that.
And Cimarron Park install, and that'll also be next year. Okay. upcoming programs would be summer day camp is for grades K through 5. They have a weekly rate, and it doesn't say when it starts.
Started this week, or
Okay.
started today, actually.
Okay. And then we have summer meals for the kids for free. Stars and Stripes, the highly coveted fireworks show, and movies in the park. And that's on July 18th, July 11th, 18th, and the 25th.
Where are the fireworks?
Where are they? Oh,
On,
well, Doug, could you take care of him?
they will be on July 4th this year.
For sure.
Hey, once it happened differently.
One time. already.
Thanks for asking.
Sounds like a lot of excitement there. Great.
Lot of
Any
people
other,
for that.
Counselor Broom?
We had an EOTech committee, and so I got an update for you guys. Couple different categories. So with the field expansions to the Heroes, there's still about $1 million short of completing the full project. And right now, the Heroes group is working with our Parks and Rec in the city through the Oregon Parks and Rec Department to try to get a grant that hopefully will cover the lights, donor wall, portable restrooms, etc. So the city's working with that group on that. So hopefully we can get a little bit moving on that. As far as operations update, they're planning on starting something called Thursday Night Lights for lacrosse. And they're trying to bring a lacrosse tournament into Hermiston this fall and to try to attract more people, more groups, and get more utilization on the fields. And they're hoping, obviously, that we get more of those lights to be able to have more participation. An update that they just mentioned, I also want to share. A couple of the artists that were getting booked, some of their visas were revoked. And so that's causing some delays in certain getting certain artists here. But the group is up there at EOTech, and those groups that usually bring these artists into town are finding alternatives. But there is a snag, obviously, with things that are going nationwide. And so we're kind of seeing that a little bit here. Other than that, the last thing I have to update is the RV park update. And so we started talking to the stakeholders a little bit about the intentions that the city council has already done this. We actually did this as a city council before we even had our last EOTech meeting, and so we brought that news to them. Although I'm sure that the city's already had conversations with the stakeholders, and so officially in the meeting, we discussed it. And there seems to be a lot of good work from some of the stakeholders. I don't know if it's, I want to say it's the rodeo. Correct me if I'm wrong, city manager, but the rodeo is helping out by trying to work with neighboring properties and seeing if they would sell their property. And then that way developing one of the RV parks on the newer property. So that way we still have space for everything else that we're trying to do up there. And so that's kind of going on in the works right now. And we'll kind of see how things shake out. But there is a lot of help within the EOTech and the stakeholders willing to do a little bit of work to try to see what we can do to accommodate everybody. So, City Manager Smith, if I miss anything, feel free to jump in or let me know during your comments. But that's what I got out of our meeting. It was a pretty good meeting. We are losing some members on our EOTech committee, so we are recruiting, actively searching for more. We've had a lot of good people do a lot of good work, and so some people are on to other things. They have obviously a lot of very busy people that have very busy lives. And so I want to thank those committee members. But we are looking for more people on our EOTech committee.
Excellent. It's, as with any committee, getting public members to participate in that is difficult at best. And so, yeah, if you hear of anybody that's wanting to serve on a committee, please forward them to the city for consideration. A lot of, yeah, I'm confident that things are going to move forward up there at Deotech with what we're trying to accomplish, and it's sounding really important. So, any other committees? Councilor Roberts.
Just briefly, a reminder, if you hadn't heard, our June 18th meeting of the library board has been moved to this Wednesday, June 25th. So we'll be coming at the next meeting with a report from them.
Okay. Any others? Excellent. All right, mayor's report. So we got a lot of stuff going on here in the city. I apologize for not being able to make a couple of these ribbon cuttings, pickleball and such. I noticed that there was quite a few of you there. I appreciate you guys showing up. We did open up or do groundbreaking at Hayden Homes here. That was well attended and looked what they have planned over there is impressive to say the least. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that comes out. In case you weren't aware, this is going down at going past the county and towards county buildings and BMCC and all that, going down towards the end of that. That's where a lot of that's going to be taking place. So just a reminder, school's out. Kidlings are out running around. So as you traverse the streets, please keep that in mind, is that there's little kids out there running around doing little kid things, and we need to be careful. But the pool's open, right? And so that's a great opportunity for you to go and wet your whistle, so to speak. Maybe a different way, but
I wouldn't duck my head in.
well,
I wouldn't recommend drinking the water.
okay. Well, hey, it's supposed to be good, right? But I appreciate the support I got over my recent medical issues. I appreciate the city and Lily and taking the time to bring out, keep me appraised of what's been going on. So a lot of good stuff going on. Our city is one to be. I think everybody in the state should envy the way that we operate here. So I think it's fantastic. Council President.
Well, I know a lot of things have already been mentioned, but one thing I want to kind of address / ask a question of is I know Wednesday is our city chat, and normally
Thursday.
Oh, Thursday.
Yes.
Normally we have a little bit of like an RSVP process for that, so I'm just curious, will we be receiving that so we can make sure we don't have a quorum?
Yes. Well, I thought.
If I haven't seen it,
But we'll make sure and send something out. But it is Alan, Maria, and Josh are the three who've signed up. So
okay, perfect. All right, I just didn't miss it.
right now we don't have more than a quorum.
And then, of course, I know the Stars and Stripes celebration was listed for the 4th of July, of course, but that kicks off at 3 at Butte Park. So I just want to make sure everyone was aware of the time. And of course, the fireworks will start at 10 o'clock. The radio station will also be doing music. So if you can't make it to the Butte and you just want to watch from your background, turn that on. The Chamber has their summer mixer on the 10th of July. That is a ticketed event. There are sub 80 tickets left at this point. So make sure to reach out to them for that. And we received an email Friday from Lily regarding reservations for the Eastern Oregon Economic Summit in Pendleton, which will be on the 24th and 25th of July. That is an RSVP event. We have some tickets already requested, so if that's something you're interested in doing, let Lily know. And that's, I think, all that I've got for right now.
Okay. Council reports. Councilor Hayward.
I was with Zill Church last week. They were down at Harrison Park doing Vacation Bible School for the public and had a great time and everything. They enjoyed it. I asked the children director to please come to the city council meeting and give the update to you guys because they were praising the city parks and stuff. I figured why not have them come and give a report to the council on that. I figure I'd at least let you know.
Okay. Councilor Meyer.
I would like to say what a very, very special event Brandon and company put on for the pickleball ribbon cutting. You did a great job. Looked fantastic. All of your speakers, except Phil, of course. And yeah, you did a great job. All bases were covered. I didn't see anything that was lacking.
Base is baseball.
Whatever.
Hey, there's a softball field at that park.
Beautiful park.
Huh?
There's softball fields at that park. There's
Yeah.
bases there.
Yeah, see,
Wow.
but yeah, you did a great job.
Okay. Counselor Burnham.
Lottie, you mentioned already a couple of the events. I agree with Counselor Myers. The pickleball court looks world class, honestly, very world class. And I think it's, again, amazing to kind of point out the group that did that. Um, I was, there are a lot of good speakers. There was a lot of good speakers that made me think. I think, I want to say the Good Shepherd speaker,
Right.
Art, I forgot his last name, but Matson, but he had a great speech on mental health, physical health, emotional health, all that comes with it. And so it was a great event. There was like, I feel like 50 plus people, almost like, it felt like there was a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was great. It was packed. And so that was really cool to see. And the other thing that was how much? 150?
350.
350. Jeez.
Wow.
Well, that's, there was a lot.
Wow.
See, it was a
Yeah.
spectacular event.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Well, that and Hayden Homes, that was also really cool. Just
Oh.
that's the first, I guess that's the first time that they're coming into Hermiston to start to build. And so it's cool when we have a brand new builder coming into town too and dipping their toes in, and hopefully they continue liking to build here. The Juneteenth celebration was also fantastic. And this morning got to see Assistant City Manager Mark Morgan present on the ship and everything that's going on up there. It was well attended and just a really good showing overall of the different pieces that are going on there in the industrial park, the different things that are coming into fruition, and just to meet with a lot of different stakeholders and all of them being able to gather and kind of see how things are going. And so it was a cool presentation, and it was cool for the community to start hearing about it, to start seeing it, and to actually just be out there, seeing the Amazon facilities, seeing everything that's actually coming into that park, because I never really drive over there. I don't really have a reason to. And so actually kind of driving up there and seeing everything that's being built, it was really cool. So that's what I got to report. It was really busy since the last time that we met.
Excellent. Counselor Drum.
I have not made it to all of the different events for various reasons, but I do want to also commend, I mean, I told you in person, but I want to do it publicly. What an amazing job our leaders do in presenting, especially to the community. Mr. Morgan is so thorough when he talks about, and you can hear the passion about the different projects that are happening and are being planned around the city. So I appreciate that. And it was nice to see the collaboration with the other, organizations from our community like Umatilla Electric and Cascade, you said, was also there. So thank you for organizing that and showcasing the different things that are happening on that side of town. Because if you're right, if we don't have a reason to go over there, you're kind of missing out on how Hermiston is growing on that end of town. I also want to thank the police department Chief for allowing me to do the ride along on June 16th. I was able to ride along for 4 hours with Officer Josue, and it was just so nice to be able to interact with an officer. Granted, she was on duty, but I had a lot of questions, like just because I was curious. And what an honor for me to see the good work that is happening, how our the police officers interact with, with the folks and how they handle every situation. It was nice to see also the lieutenant get so involved with his officers, whenever, I mean, we stopped at a domestic violence thing and just like 2 or 3 different incidences where the lieutenant was also there to provide that support. And it's nice to see that, you know, the boss is out there taking care of his staff, making sure that, you know, they feel like they're supported. So thank you for doing that. And I wish I could have stayed longer, but I had to work the next day, but it was good to see. My next plan is to be able to go to the dispatch center and be able to see what happens on your end as well. But I also want to thank the Parks and Rec. I know I've mentioned in the past about how wonderful the parks look, but another comment that I heard recently is, you know, people try to go to the park either early in the morning. Well, there's usually a lot of people any time of the day, but usually there are some people that wake up pretty early to get their morning walk done. But last year, it used to be that around 8 or 9-ish is when the sprinklers were going off, and some people had to either wait or try to, you know, get around the sprinklers. But this year, I think they're on earlier. So a lot of people have commented on that, how they appreciate not having to get wet or, you know, trying to circumvent the sprinklers to get their walk done on time. So thank you for being mindful of that. And you know, it's nice to see our folks being active and, you know, getting some kind of exercise done while they can. Thank
it?
you. Mhm.
Great. Counselor Roberts?
I also attended the South Hermiston Industrial Park presentation, and I want to just agree with everything that's been said. One thing that stuck out to me from the presentation was how many jobs is being created up there. Um, I know I've heard it, and I'm sure the rest of us have heard, you know, why are we letting Amazon do this? Or why are we, you know, putting all this money into infrastructure up there? Or why are we doing this and that? When you really think about how many jobs that creates and what that impact is on the community, that's one of my key takeaways today. You know, obviously being my first year in the council, that was new information to me. And so I'm excited to see that growth is going to continue up there, continue to bring jobs, continue to push the city forward in a positive direction.
Okay, that's, I appreciate everybody's comments and the, you know, to what you were saying earlier, Counselor Duran, about, you know, it is nice to see lieutenants getting out there and doing something. So,
That is not what I said.
no, it's directed at a different location. No, but, no, the lieutenant is, a hardworking individual, and then, you know, he was promoted for a reason, and that's gotta be the reason. Cause he does do that work, and you know, the staff that we have working for the sheriff's office for the police department is always to be commended. They do a very tough job under tough circumstances, and we appreciate them very much. So, Mr. City Manager,
You guys took everything. I have nothing to add.
wow.
Wow.
You have 2 minutes, go.
All right, well, unless anybody has anything else, we're adjourned. Too late.